Here with Coach Sean. Lady Demons get the 3-2 win tonight over UIW. Important win in a lot of ways.
It was.
And through those first two sets, literally could not have been any closer.
Yes.
Kills were almost the same. Digs were almost the same. It was literally two teams going head to head, and it's exciting and all that sort of stuff to go 5. But obviously you would like to get it salted away earlier than that. But it felt like it almost needed to go 5 after those first two sets.
Yeah. Well, first, I think that there was an Oxford comma in there somewhere in that statement. I agree. I mean, we're close teams, and while it did feel like had we been able to close out the first, we would have been able to run away with it. But it was very fitting for it to be a 5th set because, again, I mean, just we're close, literally and figuratively speaking. Just because, I mean, this match really mattered for standings. It was big, and just the obvious, we're at the end of the conference season, all that stuff matters, but I mean, we just have a few matches in front of us that just could not be any more important, and this was the first of those. So it was good to be able to get away with a win, and I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first 5-set win we have had this season.
Right, yeah.
And so it was important to get that out of the way because we're going to be in some similar situations again in the next few matches, to where it's going to be able to go for a while, and we got to be able to close it out when it matters.
Several times this year we've talked about getting important plays, key plays, and key moments in matches, and I think we saw the whole gamut of that tonight. Starting with that first set, we had the advantage. UIW comes back and win. We take the second, but it really, when they needed it the most in that 5th set, we were able to come out and put one of the 2 better sets that we've had, that in the third, to close it out when you really needed it the most.
Yes, agreed. It had some similarities to the New Orleans match, to where we lost that first set and then came back and won the close in the second. Or was it flip-flopped? I can't remember. But either way, we let something kind of get away from us a little bit, but we're able to settle down. But, I mean, to lose the first set in the fashion that we did, to be on a roll, to be able to follow the scout specifically, to create situations that we wanted to offensively and defensively that all worked, and to have a big lead and to let it slip away could be very deflating. And I thought, I'm just very proud of them to be able to come out to then win a close one in the second. I mean, just is huge for what we need to accomplish here in the next few matches.
You mentioned this on when we talked earlier this week, that aggressive serves were going to be a huge part of it. And while we did have several aces, just the way that we attacked from that first initial contact on that serve, I think really played a huge role tonight. Yeah. We've
talked about in the past here in the last couple weeks that we've struggled with 6-2s. But a large part of that is just we hadn't been able to, affect the other teams enough with our serve to be able to kind of at least take one option away. And so if you always have 3 options coming at you with some speed and tempo, you can be a great defensive team and a great blocking team, but I mean, it's just impossible to effectively stop that for the entire match. It's just hard. So like I said, our serve showed up. We got some aces out of it and some points, but that's not the whole point. It's just to be able to take something away from them, to then allow us to be able to play defense.
You kind of alluded to it a little bit there, the key moments, the key points right at the beginning of that 5th set, but talk about the moments where we needed kills, either Bree stepping up or Jaylee had a phenomenal match efficiency wise, certainly both middles, Reagan included, really gave you what you needed when you needed it at times throughout the match, more often than not, at least.
Yeah, and so I agree with all of that. Yes, they absolutely did, and I'm glad you threw Reagan Lee in there because she had a great match, scored a ton early, and really, I mean, the big benefit of that is that they had to commit their block to her. And so stopped her a few times as they were fully committed to her in a double block, which is great because then it just opens it up for everybody else. They did that to Bree a couple times, And because we moved Jaylee around a little bit, they weren't able to do that as much, but they absolutely committed what is a big and good block to stop Bree and Reagan Lee. And so my long lead-in is to then say, when it was time to get away from them, other people stepped up and scored, which was big. And that's not always something that we've been able to do this season, to where it's like, okay, we know the team is going to defend us in this way. That means you got to score, whoever that is. And we haven't always been able to put that ball away, but we did tonight, so that was good.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for your time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.